Hey YouTube, this is Brian. Today we're going to talk about something that it took me a lot longer than I'd like to admit to come across. Ever since I made the transition from R to Python, I've been looking for essentially an RStudio replacement. And I have asked lots of people and asked the Twitterverse and asked just various places. Everyone kept saying Jupyter Notebooks is the best solution if you're coming to do Python scientific development or scientific Python coding. And Jupyter Notebooks is very good. You may remember that early on in the series we spent a couple of videos going over Jupyter Notebooks and how to get the most out of them. But what I discovered recently, that despite looking for it for so long, what I just discovered recently is another IDE that's going to make you a lot faster and make things a lot easier in Python. So let's get into that. I'm really going to try to keep this video short. I know that I say that probably every video, and the goal of these videos is to be 5 or 10 minutes long. But uh, I'm just going to touch on the main points of PyCharm and why I think you should be using it versus some of the other options today. Maybe if there's enough interest and I've got enough motivation, I'll get into a deeper dive of it. But right now, I just want to go over exposing you to it again because for some reason, despite looking very hard for something like this for a long time, I just wasn't exposed to it myself. And it's really going to make things a lot easier for you. So let's get started. Okay, PyCharm, as I've mentioned, is an IDE, an integrated development environment. We already went over what that was a few videos ago, so I won't rehash that. An IDE, as I've listed here, is a code editing platform, a text editor on steroids, and how much steroids depends on what IDE you're using. Um, PyCharm, if you've been using RStudio, if you're coming from R, PyCharm is going to feel a lot like RStudio. That's what I like about it. When I transitioned from R to Python, that's what I was looking for. If you've been using something like Spider, it's going to feel a lot like that. If you've been using Jupyter Notebooks, it's going to feel more like a traditional software application than Jupyter Notebooks does. Of course, Jupyter Notebooks is browser based and it's got a certain feel to it that's very unique to its workflow. PyCharm is going to feel more like a standard standalone IDE. Okay, so how do you install PyCharm? And if you're looking for the screenshots, wait just a few minutes and I'll get to them. I'll show you a little bit about what it looks like. How do you install PyCharm? Pretty straightforward. You go to jetbrains.com and you're going to go to IDEs. JetBrains has a lot of different pieces of software that you might want to dig into later, but right now I'm going to keep this video short and we're going to focus on PyCharm. You're going to go to PyCharm and you're going to see their description of PyCharm. And as we click through to the download now page, we'll see that there are two different versions of PyCharm, Professional and the Community Edition. And I think this is probably why I didn't latch on to PyCharm before. I think I may have been looking at the Professional version and seeing, oh, it's something I don't want to pay for. I want an open source free replacement for RStudio, which is what I was familiar with. And maybe that's why I discounted this the first time that I heard about it. But you don't care about the Professional version right now. I think this is a great software application. It is a great product, and you may want to support it later on down the road just to keep them going. It's definitely worth that. But for right now, just to test it out, go to the community version. And it says it's a lightweight IDE. It's not. It's got tons of things that you're going to find helpful. So here you just click download. Obviously, it will start a download, and it's going to be OS specific. And then if you don't already know how to install the package that it downloads for your OS, then you can come over here and click on installation instructions, and it will give you OS specific instructions for installing the IDE. I've already done that, so we're going to kind of skip over that, and it's also very easy. I mean, it just pops up here. We've got a 4-bullet modal that shows and will walk you through it. So that step I'm not really going to focus on. I've already got it installed, so let's just go ahead and open it up and see what we get. Now, one of the reasons that I really like PyCharm, and I'll kind of skip ahead a little bit in terms of my document while this is loading, or not. One of the really reasons I like PyCharm is because it's got very nice version control integration. This is one of the things that RStudio had that I just really got attached to. It's something that Jupyter Notebooks doesn't have, and in fact, Jupyter Notebooks kind of make it hard because you're dealing with essentially the IPython notebook format, which every change you make, it updates cell numbers, and version control with Jupyter Notebooks is just difficult because of all the minor changes that go along. And that's one of the reasons that I never really got into them and never really latched onto them and committed to them fully. Um, PyCharm has great version control integration. VCS is the version control menu, and you can do all the things that you would expect to here. Once you have set up your permissions, you can work with GitHub and you can work with Bitbucket. Probably any remote repository system that you can think of or are working with now, you can download and push and commit and all of those things just like you would expect to be able to do in a GUI. The interface for doing this is really cool too. It's got a great diff displayer. It's too much to get into right now, but just know that there's good version control integration, and you don't have to worry about that like you do with some other alternatives for Python scientific computing. Managing the environments is very easy. The best way to see this is if we go up here and we do a new project, and we'll get a screen that pops up where we create our project. Go over here to the gear, and you can see that it gives us options to create virtual environments or Conda environments if we've got Conda installed. So to create a new Conda environment, all I have to do is go here, and let's say I want to create a Python for data science environment. Maybe I want to use a different Python version. I'll leave it as 3.5 for now. And then I just click OK. It's going to do a little working in the background, getting everything set up. And then when it's done, boom, all I need to do is give this product or this project a name. And from now on, when I open this project, I will be using this environment. Well, let's open it in the current window. So I will, again, just to reiterate, from now on when I open this project, I will be using the Python for data science environment. That's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about sourcing the environment or activating it. It happens when you open this project. That's great. That's so simple. It looks pretty empty right now. This is great. It starts off simple for you. It lets you sort of get more complicated as you're ready for it. Let's say that we want to start a file. That's very straightforward. We just do new, start as a Python file. Let's give it a name. And you can see that that's going to pop it up here. Another thing that I really like about PyCharm is the robustness of the debugging features that it offers. So let's say that we want to start doing some debugging. Start. We're not going to have anything to debug right now, obviously. But so normally clicking that would run the current file through the debugger. Any breakpoints you have, it would stop at it, etc. It doesn't. We don't have any breakpoints set up, so it's just going to say it exited with a return code of 0. Fine. But once you've gotten to a breakpoint, you can just start the console and you can work interactively from that point. So we've hit the first three things for why I want to recommend it. It's good version control integration, managing environments is easy, the debugging is robust and easy, and it's got lots of sweet editor sugar. For example, things like tab completion. It's got PEP guidelines that display in your code. Now you can turn them off because they kind of get noisy if you've got a lot of bad code. No, I'm kidding. They kind of get noisy, and maybe you don't want every PEP guideline to be pointed out to you. But it's very cool that it has that information in it that you can selectively keep the ones that you want to get notified about. It's got automatic reformatting of your code and block commenting. So let me see if I can just quickly, while I'm talking, put some of those up. Now it's not going to pull in pandas because I haven't actually added it to the environment. So when I run that thing, it's not going to do any. It's not going to complain because I haven't actually run anything right yet. I'm going to show you one thing that is a customization that I think you're really going to want to do that will make your life a whole lot easier. But let's see. Let's say I've got a function. I'm just playing around here just to get something written down. Okay, and I want to block comment all of this, which is not something that you can easily do in a lot of IDEs. We'll go to the code menu here, comment with line comment, and boom, it's done. And then you can obviously go back and undo it. So just that sort of sugar and lots of it scattered all over the place is one of the reasons that this is going to make your life a lot easier. Now, I mentioned one thing that I want to suggest that you do, and it's simply to give yourself a better keyboard shortcut for running things from this editor. So right now, if I wanted to run this line, I have to, I think, hit Alt Shift Enter. And that's not even it. I'm not sure what it is to begin with because I've changed it on all of my installations. So to set that up, it's really easy. You're just going to go into settings and you're going to go to key map and you're going to go to execute selection in console. And this is the one you want to change. Yeah, so Alt Shift E. That's why that wasn't working before. I was trying to do Enter. But Alt Shift E, well, I've pushed 3 buttons. I'm used to pushing 2 buttons, and I've gotten really spoiled with that. So let's straighten that out. We want to remove Alt Shift E, add Shift Enter, and it'll tell us that it's already assigned to these other things. That's cool. It doesn't conflict with anything that I want to keep, so I'll push OK. And we will remove it from other assignments just to make sure that there aren't any conflicts. We'll click Apply and OK. And now when we go back, we'll be able to Shift Enter and we'll get an error because there's no pandas installed right now. But you can see that you've got your own little console here that you can run things with, so etc. Okay, so that's PyCharm in a very, very quick nutshell overview. I have been using it for about a month and a half now. I'm in love with it. It's exactly what I've been looking for ever since I switched from R and RStudio. That's what I've got to say today. I'll get back to regular scheduled stuff with the next videos. We'll talk more about data sciencey stuff. I just wanted to take this quick detour because I discovered PyCharm and it was exactly what I was looking for, and I wanted to spread the word about it and suggest that you try it out if you're also still sort of looking for something to settle on. Have a great day or night or afternoon, whatever it is in your part of the world, and I'll talk to you next time.